A very good morning to you and welcome to our Rugby World Cup update brought to you live from England. Today we are in Milton Keynes and the ABSA Red Bus, ABSA member of Barclays, is parked outside of Milton Keynes' premier action, sport and entertainment venue, Escape. It's good to be in your company. Now this may be a great place to unwind, but I wonder how the Springboks, what they do in order to unwind and just relax. This will be the first weekend during the Rugby World Cup that they'll get some time off. Let's check in with our camp correspondent Simon Burke to find out exactly what the Springboks get up to relax.
So the Springboks have a few days off in London and they know exactly what they're going to do. Some of them are playing golf, some of them are taking a quiet walk along the river, but there are a few in the squad who want to go shopping, and where better than the city centre.
I've personally been nagging Trevor mostly because both of our girlfriends are in SA still and none of our family are here, so the two of us have been spending some time together. Hopefully get some shopping done today, otherwise got nothing planned there. I think a lot of the guys are spending some quality time with their loved ones, so most of the guys probably out getting some mental relief from the game a bit. Obviously some of the guys that got kids and wives, so this is a very good time for them to just spend some quality time with their families.
Rudy Page is one player who has really taken like a duck to water to Springbok life. He's still buzzing after his first Springbok cap.
Obviously I'm still enjoying it. Of that cloud, yes, obviously as the bigger picture is still winning the World Cup, and we got to look forward to a quarter-final next week. For now, it's just getting the body 100% right to be able to be ready for selection for that game.
And while the Springboks are enjoying a bit of downtime, they'll also be keeping one eye on the Australia-Wales match. Then they'll know who they're playing next. I'm Simon Burke, bringing you the latest from the Springbok camp.
Thank you very much, Simon. Well, the ABSA Red Bus is parked outside of Escape. It's a very interesting building in its own right, and inside there is just so much fun, of which we're going to give you a little taste of in a short while. Just to bring you up to speed with what happened at the Rugby World Cup yesterday, the final Pool C encounter for New Zealand, while Ma Nanu received his 100th cap. He also scored a try, so it really was a dream for him. They secured a 47-9 victory over Tonga in Pool C. Not something that the Tongans were hoping for, but they put up a spirited performance. New Zealand coach Steve Hansen saying that all the processes are starting to fall into place, and maybe that's a warning to all of the other teams. They'll face either Ireland or France in the quarterfinals. It just depends what happens in the final Pool D clash between the two nations. Speaking about the final pool matches in some groups, we've got Australia up against Wales in Pool A later on today, and it's one that all South Africans will be keeping a close eye on. Why? Well, because the loser of that match will go up against the Springboks in the very first Rugby World Cup quarter-final, which will be taking place at Twickenham in London. On that note, let's bring you up to speed with what else has been happening in the Rugby World Cup. Namibia's Ronaldo Botma has been suspended for 2 weeks after admitting to an act of foul play in their Pool C match against Georgia at Sandy Park. After being cited for a dangerous high tackle in the 49th minute, Judicial Officer Alan Hudson handed the ban down. That means no final pool match against Argentina tomorrow. Today, Australia and Wales meet in a Pool A decider, and a Wales victory could be a major boost for the region. It would force the Wallabies to take on South Africa, so one of the Southern Hemisphere's big three would go out before the semi-finals. Northern Hemisphere teams have won only one World Cup. Can I say it? England in 2003. And then, is there any connection between Rugby World Cup and death metal music? Well, in the Japanese camp there is. Japan coach Eddie Jones's interpreter, Hidenori Sato, is a vocalist for Japanese death metal band Infernal Revulsion. Yeah, that's the name of the band, Infernal Revulsion. There certainly are a team of surprises. You can say that again. So the Japanese have a death metal star. The Springbok camp has a doctor in Yanni du Plessis. Stay with us. We'll have more from our Rugby World Cup update brought to you live from England after this.
Across the globe, locally, and on the entire continent. Every second, every minute, and every hour. There's always a breaking story. We commit to giving you the most important, significant, and interesting news. That's why it is not a surprise that more Africans are tuning to SABC News to find out what is happening. Because when news break, we've got you covered. SABC News, Africa's news leader.
Welcome back to our Rugby World Cup update live from England. Today the ABSA Red Bus, ABSA member of Barclays, is parked outside of an action sports and entertainment venue. We're outside of Escape, and the bus will be here later on today as we broadcast the Scotland-Samoa clash in Pool B. That'll be you'll be able to watch that live at 3 o'clock on SABC2. There was a South African family that came across the bus yesterday. They've been living in England and in Milton Keynes specifically for the last 8 years, and they said, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" They found out a little bit about the ABSA Red Bus, and then they said, "Oh, you guys going to be here later because we'd love to come with all our Springbok shirts." So everybody just gets so excited to have that taste of home. There certainly are a lot of South Africans that have immigrated here, and seeing the bus, seeing the flag, you just see the wide smiles on their faces when they see it, and that's been something wonderful to experience. So being outside of Escape, I said we'd give you a taste of what actually goes on inside. Now, what they've got inside is a massive snow slope. Yes, I know we did it in Manchester, but I did something a little bit more than just going down on a little toboggan. Mac and I learned how to snowboard, only just though, and we also met up with a young snowboard cross champion here in Great Britain. She's also part of the Team GB Academy. Her name's Skylar Bailey. What an awesome young girl, and I think it really was due to her influence and her coach's Alex's influence that Mac and I got a little bit of a knack for snowboarding.
My chosen discipline is border cross. It's where 4 riders at my level but 6 at Olympic level race at the same time down a track. There'll be various obstacles, so jumps like on the slope here, banks, drop downs, and it's one of the most dangerous Olympic sports, definitely. There's a lot of crashes and stuff, but it's really great, really exhilarating, quite hard, technically difficult, but also you have to be quite gutsy. Competing through Europe has definitely been the highlights with the GB team. Bigger courses like international competition, they've been so great. The standard is so much higher and the courses are so much more fun. And obviously just riding here with my friends, it's really great.
But what you do is really scary. Do you ever get scared?
Oh yeah, definitely. I get nervous all the time. It's just, I guess you just got to do it, I guess. I've won the British Championships in my age group, and also the English ones overall women's. Also the Scottish in my category for 2 years now. And I've had various podiums in Germany, Switzerland, and yeah, we train in Austria all the time. Yeah, just competing in the UK and Europe, it's so great. I love it. I'd like to at least compete on Europa Cup or World Cup, maybe the Olympics, but definitely just get as far as I can.
Do you think you can teach Mac and I? We may not have the same kind of guts and courage that she does.
Especially me, Alex. Can you teach me, especially me?
Of course, I think anyone can learn to snowboard.
Okay.
What is the key?
Confidence. Got to relax. Just go with it.
Yeah?
Yeah. We're going to be bending our knees quite a lot just to keep you balanced. And looking where you're going, keeping your head up is very important. If you look down, you're going to go down. Keep your head up, you stay up. One edge will run all the way.
I'll stick to rugby.
Mac Messina, he shows us that he can play rugby, he can play football, and he can even try his hand at a little bit of snowboarding. Now, Mac Messina himself, having represented South Africa at Springbok Sevens, as well as being a former professional player with the Cats, he actually comes from Soweto, and a lot of people often say to him, oh, you're not from the Eastern Cape, and his first exposure to rugby was in Soweto. Now when you think about Soweto, it's not really the place that you think of rugby first. It's the two big football teams, isn't it? It's Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. But when it comes to rugby in Soweto, there is the Soweto Rugby Club, and they really have been that leading light in taking the game to the southwestern townships in Johannesburg. Here in England, we came across a wonderful story about the Soweto Rugby Club that is gaining international traction. Take a look at this.
People of Soweto, we are nice, warm, loving people. The Soweto Rugby Club haka, not a South African haka. Ours, it's a war cry.
As the Zulus used it during the war between the British. It's a war cry that states who we are, where we come from, and what we intend to do.
The guy who's leading the haka is asking, are we scared of them? And then the troops or the warriors will respond and say,
but you know, we're not afraid of them. We want them.
Ingakanani, it means how big is the fight? This big. That's the haka.
How brilliant is that story? And that's something that's being shown by the Rugby World Cup all over, not only here in the UK, but also around the world. Soweto Rugby Club making South Africa so, so proud. Well, I'm standing outside of our ABSA Red Bus, and with me I've got the CEO of Destination MKs, Stephen Gordon-Wilson. A very good morning to you and welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, Vaylen. Thanks for having me.
So when I told people we're going to Milton Keynes as one of the stops on this wonderful journey around England, they said, oh, Milton Keynes is not like what you would usually think about England. It's not this traditional English place with all this heritage and these very, very old buildings. It's a very young city. It's rather charming, though.
It is, and it's not traditionally a visitor attraction, and at Destination Milton Keynes we work really hard to try and bring people into the city. As you say, we are quite new. It's 2017, we turned 50 years old, would you believe? But, you know, that's just when Milton Keynes was made a new town. Actually, you can explore and find our original Roman roads and Roman villas, and there is a lot of history here.
That's the next thing. How do you navigate around that kind of perception?
Well, it's not easy, to be honest. We do an awful lot of work nationally and internationally to talk about Milton Keynes as a visitor attraction. I mean, you've been to some of our real assets. You've been to Bletchley Park and the stadium, and places that we can really shout about and say, hey, we're different, look at this. So we just go out and talk to people, tell people what there is to do, and we try and bring people here for all of the different reasons, so whether it be for business or for leisure or for attractions.
One thing that I was blown away by was your Willen Lake and Willen Park, this magnificent green space that seems to just stretch on for miles and miles, and you can take a little turn down a path and it feels as if you're running in a rural area. There's meadows, there's real cows, not only concrete cows, as well.
That's right, and a lot of people don't believe it. You can be driving down one of our many dual carriageway roads and past one of the hundreds of roundabouts, but actually 2 minutes off the road and you are in the middle of a green field, and you just wouldn't think it of a city like Milton Keynes. So that's a real message to take away, that actually we're not just a concrete city. There's so much here that you can come and see.
What has been the impact of the Rugby World Cup for the city? In 3 Rugby World Cup matches that you hosted, record attendances at the stadium.
Yeah, record attendance. So you're talking roughly 30,000 people per game. So that's 90,000 people that just came to see the games. We're looking at least double that, people that came to the city. We had a fantastic concert last night, some brilliant events on throughout the city. So anywhere up to 200,000 people came to the city just to see the rugby. Financially, we're predicting somewhere around £52 million worth of income to the economy, which is nuts, really, for 3 games of rugby. £52 million. So it's just been huge.
Milton Keynes, you guys must be very, very happy that the Rugby World Cup rolled around. Thank you very much. That's CEO of Destination MK, Stephen Gordon-Wilson, talking to us here on Morning Live. Our bus is going to be here later. You can tune in to SABC 2 at 3 o'clock as we bring you the match between Scotland and Samoa. Until then, goodbye.